Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Figures of Speech presented by me Achal Jain. Few things about me. I am a student of English literature, a Marvel geek, a cartoonist, a creative soul, and after watching the video, don't forget to rate, review, recommend and share. We have already covered 3 of the main topics. Figures of speech based on similarity, figures of speech based on utterance, and also extension of ideas. We have learned around 7 to 8 figures of speech, and here we are with new topic, figures of speech based on obliqueness, and it is again subcategorized into 4: irony, euphemism, ambiguity and pun. Few are I guess you all are aware of irony and also pun, so we will be talking about it in detail, the purpose of irony and all the structure we have. And let's and in this video we will be talking about irony and euphemism. So let's begin with irony. It is typically for humorous or emphatic effect. Say when this is the most used example, and this is the example from which I learned the irony. This is the first example I learned what irony is. So let's read it. Jack yelled, "Why are you before time?" to Anne as she arrived an hour late. So you can see Anne here arrived an hour late, and Jack's reaction to it was, why are you before time? So this is obviously what he does not mean. So irony is not to be taken literally. So let's read these definitions. The expression of one's meaning by using a language that normally signifies the opposite. So you can see Jack's meaning was opposite to what he said, because Anne here arrived an hour late, and this would be an obvious reaction of anyone. The use of words to convey the meaning that is the opposite of the literal words. The outcome of the events contrary to what was or what might have been expected. So Anne here was expected to arrive on time, but she arrived an hour late. So Jack's reaction was, "Why are you before time?" which is an example of irony. So here's another example of irony. Blind person's cross here. So this signboard has no purpose because blind persons cannot see. They don't have the ability to see. Thus it makes the statement an irony because no blind person can read this signboard. Here's another example of irony. Nothing is written on this stone. Well, this is written on this stone. So again, this is a false statement and it becomes an irony. The purpose of irony. So it is a technique of indicating it is a technique of indicating true characters or plot development, the intention of the characters or the attitude of which is actually sensible stated. And like all other figures of speech, it brings meaning to the situation. So it organizes a work of to give a full expression contrary and to contradictory or complementary impulses attitude, indication of detachment of subject, theme or emotion, and develops readers' interest. And moreover in real life is full of ironical expressions and situations. Therefore the use of irony brings work of literature closer to life. So these are few purposes of irony. And also I would like to add one more thing, that irony has 3 types. They are verbal, situational and dramatic. So the definition of irony we learned just now is what verbal irony is, and let me give you a few examples of situational irony and dramatic irony. And because explaining things with example is much more easier, let me give you an example of situational irony. Dramatic irony. So see, when it is like, say in a movie scene, the audience knows that the killer is hidden in the kitchen, but the girl in the movie does not know that the killer is hidden in the kitchen. So it is an irony because the audience, who is not even at that particular location, knows that the killer is hidden in the kitchen, while the girl who is present in that location does not know. And another example you can say, in books, the readers know that the storm is about to come, but the children who are playing in the backyard, they are not aware of the storm. And for situational irony, situational irony is something what we expect to happen and what actually happens. So this is what situational irony is. Let's move forward. We are done with the purposes, and here are a few examples of irony. The name of Britain's biggest dog was Tiny. Biggest and Tiny, they are two literally opposite words, and I really hope you can spot the irony here. You laugh at a person who slipped stepping on a banana peel, and the next thing you know, you slipped too. So again, this is an example of situational irony. The butter is as soft as a marble. So this is again irony. No marble can be as soft as a butter. Oh great, now you have broken my new camera. So no one's reaction would be oh great if you broke anyone's camera. Even if it's an old camera, no one would react like this, oh great. So these are few examples of irony, and here's the test. You can pause the video. Let's begin. Looking at her son's messy room, mom says, wow, you could win an award for cleanliness. This is an example of irony, because no mom would say or react like this looking at the messy room. So this is an example of irony. There are roaches infesting the office of a pest control service. So again, this is an irony, because you find roaches in pest control service, in the office of a pest control service. So again, this is an irony. Stand clear of the door, said the girl. You see no irony here, so this is not an example of irony. On the way to school, the school bus gets a flat tire, and the bus driver says, excellent, this day couldn't start off any better. So again, this is an example of irony. Situational irony, because the driver did not accept his tire to go flat. So this is an example of situational irony because of his reaction. Let's begin with euphemism. I really hope you all have understood what irony is. So let's begin with euphemism. Euphemism alters the meaning association with what people have concept. So for euphemism, let me explain euphemism in the most basic term. It is polite, mild word or expression for something. It conceals the speaker's embarrassment about something about which they are supposed to say. So you could, for example, you can say his cat passed away instead of saying his cat died. You can say senior citizens instead of old people. So these are polite words, mild words, and saves the speaker from the embarrassment of or the awkwardness of speaking out died or old people. These are not actually offensive words, but it really sounds better if we say passed away or senior citizens. So they hide the nasty, embarrassing or scary facts of that are more tempered or reduced that offensive or cruel or frightening effect. So here are a few examples of euphemism. I am letting you go instead of saying you are fired. So I really hope you recognize this verbal form. So he is speaking this and he is thinking this, because I really think you all understand this. I am letting you go instead of saying you are fired. And instead of saying selfish, you can say that person is self-interested. So these are few examples of euphemism. And also there is a type of euphemism which is known as phonetic euphemism. It is used mainly for swear words or words that are not to be spoken lightly, or that sound similar to an original but just different enough so that it's not offensive, and it's shortening of the words. So instead of saying what the hell, you could just say what the. So these are few examples of euphemism. It is also used for swear words. And let's read the purpose. It portrays a natural way to speak more politely to people, and the writers they do not usually feel the need to tiptoe around difficult, delicate or embarrassing topics. Instead, and indeed, you just instead of saying passed away, you can say the cat died. Instead of saying the cat died, you could have said the cat passed away. So it is basically to save the writers or the speaker's embarrassment of saying such words which do not sound better, which do not sound good. So euphemism can be a good reflection of setting, whether in time period, culture or attitude of the character. So euphemism could be considered as good manners. So here are a few more examples. In a better place, passed away, or meet your maker instead of saying to die. In a family way, with child burn in an oven instead of saying that the girl is pregnant. Gosh darn it, what the hell. They are curse word modification. Aren't you poor or you are economically disadvantaged. So instead of calling someone poor, it is better to call them economically disadvantaged. And you are broken. Aren't you broken? Instead of saying broke, you could say that you are temporary in negative cash flow. So these are few examples of euphemism, and here's the test. You can pause the video. Let's begin. On a lighter note, intelligent ventilation points when speaking of a garment are armholes. So again, you are not buying a used car, you are purchasing a pre-enjoyed and pre-loved vehicle. Her cat died last night. If you are a bank, bad crappy debts are under your performing assets. So you can see in this sentence, her cat died, and it doesn't sound a pleasant statement, nor is it a polite statement. So this is not an example of euphemism. You are not buying a used car, you are purchasing a pre-enjoyed and pre-loved vehicle. So whether the person is buying a second-hand car or not, it is better to say, it is not good if it doesn't sound polite if we say you're buying a second-hand car. It just means you can just say you're buying a pre-loved vehicle or pre-enjoyed vehicle, which sounds much better and polite. So this is an example of euphemism. And again, since a swear word is used here, this is not an example of euphemism. If you are a bank, bad crappy debts are none or underperforming assets. So again, instead of saying these words, swear words, you could say non or underperforming assets. So this is the correct example of euphemism. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any doubts, do let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to rate, review, recommend and share.